Hey guys, what's up? Brandon here. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be telling you about 11 mistakes that stop me from getting better trading results. Let's get straight into it. Mistake number 1. Trying to open trades while you aren't in the correct frame of mind. Now let me talk about this quickly. You see, when you're sitting on your couch, you're relaxing, you're leaning back, you're watching TV, maybe you just got home from your day job or whatever, and you just happen to open, you literally just happen to open your chart, right? Yeah boy, this looking like a good trade here boy. Bet I take this. Can't really take much analysis, but I small thing, I'll take that. Yeah, that's a problem. Because essentially, you didn't do an analysis or any big major analysis to say that you're really trying to break down this particular trade. This particular trade that you want to get into. Right? You're not in the correct frame of mind. Typically, what I realized is I don't even have MetaTrader installed on my computer. I only execute from my phone, but I have to be in front of my computer to analyze the trade first and foremost. So I analyze from the computer, but I execute from my phone. In other words, I realistically should be with my phone and my computer in the same place in order for me to execute. I cannot execute on the go. Now I could theoretically change that around and say, you know what, I want to, maybe have my laptop or my tablet and execute like that. But I have found that that doesn't work very, very good for me. Despite what you've heard from traders, traders that you can trade anywhere in the world, while that is technically true, to be able to master that art is not very easy. So be very, very careful of that. Mistake number 2. Trying to re-enter trades without re-analyzing the trade. But this thing will stop me out, boy. How this thing could stop me out? I had this right. I'm going back in. But the trade didn't even last 5 seconds. It stopped me out already? Nah, man. The reason this happens is because, again, we have to remember, and I said this and I spoke about this in a previous video, a trade is made up of 3 specific things in a particular order: analysis, execution, and management. And you must do them in this order, at least from the way I see it. You must analyze first, then you execute, and then you manage. What a lot of people do is they would analyze, execute, and try to manage, get stopped out, and then try to re-execute without re-analyzing. So you're trying to start a whole new process without doing it in the correct progressional way. So it's something that I try to warn people of. If you're trying to re-enter a trade, be very, very careful for doing that, or of doing that without re-analyzing that particular trade. Mistake number 3. Not understanding the correct risk percentage I should be using for my level of understanding. Them saying 1% is the go, so 1% is the go. Right, I'll take this trade at 1%. I already lose 5 trades, so I already down 5%. But that is small thing. That is nothing. I could work with that. 5% down, that is nothing. God, I lost this trade too, boy. Lord. Lord, boy. Lord. Why me? Essentially, the problem here is, yeah, you can risk 1%. 1% is a good amount of risk. I absolutely agree. The problem is, 1% is yes the amount you risk when you really have a good handle on what you're doing. You're consistent in your results, you're consistent in your execution, and you have a very good handle of the situation. Typically what I tend to recommend students do, and even new traders or traders who still haven't found, they didn't grow their wings yet per se. What I tend to recommend is that you risk half of 1% or maybe even quarter of 1%. So 0.25 or 0.5, alright? And I tend to say 0.25 because what that means is it gives you the maximum amount of chances to lose and still make something in return if your risk reward ratio is good enough. Take that into consideration. Mistake number 4. Not trying to get a good understanding of what is actually wrong with me. Alright, so I just can't understand. I lose. Is it the strategy, boy? It can't be the strategy, because the strategy, that man says a good strategy. So how by me really studying this now, I feel I just gonna continue to trade and do my own thing. So I will just place this trade here, and yeah, I'll just do that. Forget me studying that now. You're never gonna actually grow if it is you don't understand what is necessary for growth. And I'll tell you something, a lot of people are okay with being not where they want to be. So what they tend to do is they get comfortable with being not okay. Now, this is an interesting topic I'm talking about here, and I don't know how long I'm going to spend on it, but I'm going to try to elaborate a little bit. I tend to tell people, be okay with being not okay. Meaning, you need to be okay with not necessarily getting the results that you want. However, you need to not be okay with the fact that you're not making changes about that. So it's very simple. If it is you don't know what's going on with you, why you're losing, whether it be a strategy, whether it be your risk management, whether it be exiting the trade, maybe your psychology is jacked up, what you need to do is try to figure out what is wrong with you. If you do not do that, you're going to continue to lose. Mistake number 5. Thinking that as soon as I open a chart that I can find an entry. Yes, right. Let me see what's going on with these charts here now. What, right? As soon as I open this thing, I see something. Well, right. Boom. I enter in right there. Yeah. That is it. That is it. This trade going to make me $1 million. So you telling me that you have such impeccable timing. You just happen to be in the right place at the right time every single time. Come on, man. Come on. That's not how it works. Remember, if we go back to the 3 things that make up a trade, it's analysis, then execution, then your entry. Typically, you're going to find yourself analyzing a trade sometimes hours, days in advance before you can actually get the execution or the ability to execute and find your entry. Be very careful. If you see yourself doing that, guess what? It is a mistake. Mistake number 6. Forcing trades that you had a really bad feeling about to begin with. I want to take this trade, boy, but I don't know if I like this one, boy. I'll take it. You know what? Yeah, I'm taking it. One of the things with this mistake in particular is oftentimes we know when we are making a mistake, but we don't tend to listen to ourselves because you tend to doubt yourself a lot, right? And this is something that a lot of traders face. I face it, even sometimes now I face it. And you have to be very, very careful. When you feel like you don't trust the analysis, you should not trust the execution. Because you're going to, 9 times out of 10, I promise you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up losing that trade. Trust me on that. Mistake number 7. Allowing myself to get consumed by my losses. Gosh, boy, it's loss and all that is all I see. Loss. Red. You know what? But forget this thing, boy. I go in and just take trades and take trades. I can't take it no more. You know what? I am going to open the biggest lots as I can and try to make every single thing back. I'm doing that now. You know what? GU, I am going to be buying you and you're going to give me back everything that I have lost. Yeah. No, right now. No. When you're doing this, essentially you've just been consumed. You begin to spiral. And you spiral so much that you lose control. And you gain absolutely nothing. The problem with this here is you're going to lose, But it takes a very, not only mature trader, but a real trader to acknowledge the fact that they're going to lose. A real trader knows that they're going to lose. And they are okay with that. If you're not okay with losing, trading might not necessarily be for you. And that's one of those hard to swallow pills, that many people are not going to talk about. Many people will say, no, don't worry, you can do it. Maybe trading is for you. In actuality, it probably isn't if you don't like losing. That's a very, very hard thing to accept. And if you can't accept it, maybe you should reconsider. Mistake number 8. Making the same mistake over and over again, expecting a different result. I lost this trade before like this, but it had to be when you buy support here that it is win. So you know what? It now come into the support, so I'm going to press buy here. Yeah, I'll place the buy right there now. Yeah. It had to. I didn't even get the thing to go a little 10 pips in my favor, boy. It stopped me out already, boy. Gosh, boy. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results is the very definition of insanity. And in my opinion, obviously, because of the fact that you've been doing the same thing over and over, and you're expecting a different result, it comes back to the very same thing where I spoke about, where you're not necessarily trying to find out why you've been making the same mistakes and what effect that has on your trading. It's something that is it's a very dangerous place to be, because essentially you are okay with making the same mistake and you feel like, sooner or later it's going to come around. Maybe it is, and maybe you're going to get a win sometime, but it's not going to be a win that's going to make a drastic change in your results. You're going to go right back into the same cycle again. Human beings are oftentimes stuck in loops, and that's exactly what you're in if you're in this insanity cycle. Mistake number 9. Going against the overall direction of the market. Oh, cool. Hey, price come up real high here, boy. Yeah, boy. I feel I have to sell this here. I have to sell this here. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I am selling this here. Sell. You know what? I'm just going to put about 10 sells here. Yeah. Yeah. Where it going? Where it going? It's still going up. One of the biggest laws that I follow for my own trading and for me and my own personal results, right, is to never go against the momentum unless a reversal is clear. So typically if the market is going bearish, I'm going to be looking for sells. It takes a lot of energy for a market, any particular market, to reverse, regardless of what asset class we're talking about. Remember, if a market is reversing, it has to fight against all of the momentum that's been going in that direction all the time and go the opposite direction. The same way it takes a lot of energy to switch on and off a bulb, more in fact to leave the bulb on, is a similar situation with a reversal. Typically, you're not going to find a lot of reversals in the market. Stop trying to catch a falling knife. In actuality, the best course of action is to go with the flow. Now, I'm not telling you the trend is your friend, because I'm not a trend trader, right? I am a momentum based trader, meaning I am going to go with wherever the momentum is going, and that's what I think you should do too. But don't trust me on that. Do your own research, back test it yourself. When you're going to realize, or when you think that it's a reversal, you're going to quickly realize that the market continued to go in its overall direction. Try it yourself, you'll see. Mistake number 10. Trying to switch strategies when you go into a losing streak. Right. So that last strategy didn't work. I tried for 3 days and it didn't work. So I was looking at this thing, what do they call it? The exoskeleton dragon strategy. Yeah. This song in Hulu. Yeah, the exoskeleton. Oh, I've seen the exoskeleton here. Yeah. And I see dragon breathing the fire. So clearly now that means I should sell. Yep. And it loses. Well, clearly I can use the strategy again. We've all been there. Don't even try. Don't even try to deny. We've all been there. We've all tried different strategies where, you realize that this one ain't working, so you try something different, and that one starts to not work, and you try something different, and you keep going. How else are you going to kind of hone your skills if you never really stop to try to figure out what about this strategy is not working? You're going to quickly realize if you do enough research on YouTube or Google or TikTok, Twitter, anywhere on the internet, that a lot of strategies actually working. It is said that once a strategy has an edge, typically it is going to be profitable. The problem is the trader interacting with the strategy, and that is what is so dangerous about trading, because obviously your emotions is what's going to be a big driving force or driving factor behind how the strategy is used. Don't do this. Do not switch your strategy when you go into a losing streak, because that's a completely normal thing to have, a losing streak. And any trader to tell you otherwise is lying to you. And mistake number 11. Thinking that I should always be in a trade. Hey boy, I'm not in anything now, so I should. Right, let me open. Yeah, alright. Alright, but I just get in this just because. Yeah. Right, and I ain't even into the thing quick. You know what? I had to go back in the next one. That one stopped me out so fast. Wow. Well, no, I had to go back in the next one here now. Yeah. Alright, cool. A classic mistake, and I used to make this as well, is thinking that you should always be in a trade. The actuality, the reality of the situation is, the less trades you take, the better. They say that time in the market beats time in the market. I believe it is Warren Buffett said that. And I believe it to be true. If I could take one trade and hold it for the rest of my life, I probably would. I don't think it's possible, but if I were given the opportunity, I probably would. I'd scale out of it, and because what happens is if you're in one trade for very long, you are not completely and every single time trying to enter a new trade, reopening your risk and your vulnerability. You don't want to do that. Remember, every time you take a new trade, you reopen your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities. That's a very dangerous thing to do, especially if you do not have a strategy that you're really in tune with. So be very careful of that. You do not need to be in a trade every minute of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year. That's not how it works. Well guys, so that's essentially what I feel like I should have spoken about. I feel like these are 11 mistakes, and these are things that I have actually struggled with. And sometimes even now, I still maybe have, the slightest hints of struggling with these things. Maybe, maybe one or two of them I probably would be able to go into further detail on these in a future video, right? I'm not perfect, and I know that you aren't either, right? But these are things that I'm giving some, some insight into what I think they are and how they can affect your trading. So don't be afraid, comment below if it is any of these things or all of these things affect you, and let me know what you think. Let me know if it is you feel like what I have given you is good insight to make a change so that you might be able to see better results. Yeah, subscribe, like the video. See you all in the next one. Peace out guys.